Okay. Okay, yesterday we finished with the dinim of Bedikas Chametz, and we said you have to do Bittul Chametz. After you finish doing Bedikas Chametz, you have to nullify the Chametz. The real main nullification of the Chametz is really Erev Pesach, when you burn the Chametz, before the 5th hour of the day. And we'll get to those details in a second. So you have to nullify the Chametz. You have to understand what you're saying when you nullify the Chametz. You could say it in any language you want, as long as you understand what you're saying is basically that all the Chametz I have, that I know about, I don't know about, should become dirt, like the dirt of the ground, ownerless. I don't want to have anything to do with it.
Can you say both Aramaic and then Hebrew?
You could say it in 10 times. The main thing is you have to know what you're saying. Okay. Now, the 10 pieces of bread and the stuff you find in the bedika, you have to put away in a safe place. Especially at the time of the Gemara, they had mice and rats, so you put it away, you might have it all over the house the next day, or middle of the night. Or if you have little kids, they might also... you have to put it out of reach, out of sight, in a safe place. Now, Erev Pesach in the morning... That is not, that's why you say the chametz that I know and I don't know, but you have to put it away safe. That's what it says b'chol halacha. You have to keep it safe, because you're going to have, somebody's going to start eating chametz all around the house. You're going to have to do b'dikas chametz Erev Pesach in the morning. Okay, now, Erev Pesach in the morning, which this year is Friday morning, so if somebody's a b'chor, Bais Din, they have to fast. Tainis b'chayrim, because they're the firstborn Egyptians. The minig is that you redeem, even though halacha doesn't speak about it that much, but the poskim write that the minig is, if it's a sudas mitzvah, if it's a meal of a mitzvah, like a bris, a pinyan aben, then the firstborns can partake of the suda, but they actually have to eat something in the suda, and then they can break the fast. And then they don't have to fast for the rest of the day. There were many places that people take a great tzaddikim or b'chayrim used to take a fast the whole day of Pesach. Then there's a Hoshayla, can you eat before the Seder? Not the whole... But anyway, the bottom line is today we don't do that. Today, people they break the fast at the siyum. Now, in order to make a siyum, you can't just make a siyum, take a Perek Mishnayos and make a siyum. If it's Gemara, it has to be a whole Mesechta of Gemara, Bavli or Yerushalmi. You have to finish a tractate. If you're learning Mishnayos, you have to learn a whole order, like one of the 6 orders of the Seder. You can't just learn Pirkei Avos and make a siyum. It's worthless. You have to make a siyum either on that, or if somebody did it, like they finished all of Rambam and they finished all of Shulchan Aruch or things like that. But the minig is you make a siyum on the Masechta and the B'chor. It's interesting. What happens if the B'chor missed the siyum, but he came for the food? So then he could eat anyway, because the main thing is the Sudas Mitzvah, which is the meal. They don't serve a meal today. Today they serve mezainis or things like that, because again, it's out of Pesach. They don't want to... Shackle cake. That's what most people do, by the way. Now, starting Erev Pesach, Friday morning, I mean. So even though it's Friday, usually you don't fast Friday, but Tainis B'chayrim, you fast on this Friday. If Erev Pesach is interesting, if Erev Pesach is Shabbos, and Pesach is Sunday and Monday, then you push up the fast to Thursday. But because this is the day of the fast, and most people don't fast anyway because they have a siyum, so then the minig is you start fasting. But it means the interesting thing that a b'chor who needs to listen to a siyum. It says in halacha, the person that makes the siyum, many poskim hold, he can eat right away in the morning, because he's for sure going to be making a siyum. But everybody else really, you can't even have a cup of coffee, you can't take nothing until you actually listen to a siyum.
Making a siyum doesn't have to...
There is, there are a lot of opinions like that.
What's the firstborn to the mother or...
Firstborn mother or father. A firstborn cesarean is in halacha called tzarechiyun. But the minig is they go listen to the siyum. That's the minig. But,
What happens if someone is siyum on the Masechet Gemara before without a meaning. He just read the.
Well, if he made the hadron, then he finished it. But a lot of people do is they learn Gemara, so they leave over when they need to see him for something.
So when they push it back to Thursday, so they do also the siyum on Thursday?
Yeah. Do everything on Thursday instead of Friday. Now, Friday, Erev Pesach, you don't say Mizmor L'Seida. It's a pretty short davening. You don't say Mizmor L'Seida. There's no Tachnun.
The shortest I know.
And in the short, no, Yom Shabbat, yeah, Yom Shishi B'Shabbos. So it's a quick davening. You don't say Mizmor L'Seida because Mizmor L'Seida is, and we learned, the remembrance of the Korban Todah, the Thanksgiving offering that had the Lachmei Todah breads that were chametz, and because out of Pesach you're not allowed to bring chametz because they couldn't bring a Korban Todah because you have to, when there's a time to eat the korban, like the whole day and the next night, that you have to make sure that you're allowed to eat it that day and the next night. So because the breads of the Korban Todah are chametz, so therefore the din was you didn't bring a Korban Todah on Erev Pesach, and they didn't bring it on Chol Hamoed Pesach either. So therefore the minig is that you don't say Mizmor L'Seida, not Erev Pesach, and not during Chol Hamoed Pesach. That's the reason why we don't say it in Shabbos and Yom Tov also, because they weren't allowed to bring a Korban Todah on Shabbos and Yom Tov. Friday night by the Seder, there's a lot of different customs. Some don't say it, some say it regularly. Our custom is, Rebbe writes, that we say it quietly. You know, normally if you sing Shalom Aleichem and Eishes Chal, you don't sing it, but you say it quietly. That's every Yom Tov, that's Shabbos. Every Yom Tov, that's Shabbos. Anyway, so now you're allowed to eat chametz until the end of the 4th hour of the day, which here in LA this year is 10, what did I write in the thing? 10:48, I think. No.
11. Usually it's 11.
No. 11 is the burning. 1 second. Second. Okay, chametz could be eaten until 10:43 here in LA. And you have to burn it before 11:48. So because they changed the clock, you can eat chametz until 10:43 out of Pesach. Which means you have to brush your teeth by then. That's it. Finish with the chametz. And you can benefit from chametz. That means burning the chametz, selling the chametz until 11:48. What?
The person has to go to work on Friday morning. Can they burn the chametz at 7:30?
You can burn the chametz today if you want. I'm serious. It's no
big deal.
If you want to do it every Pesach, anytime you can do it.
And say the Kol Chomira at 7:30, but you can still eat chametz after that.
Yeah, but then you should say it better again. If you're saying it at the time you burn it, you should say it again when you completely finish everything, before the Zman.
Why wouldn't we sing the Chabad, the happy song?
I didn't say L'Chadeid. L'Chadeid, yeah. Shalom Aleichem and Eishes Chayil. By Kiddush, we don't. Because the emphasis is on the Yom Tov. But yeah, in fact, many people, many places, like in Nutzach Ashkenaz, they skip a lot of L'Chadeid when Shabbos is Yom Tov. They skip parts of the L'Chadeid. Only beginning and end, something like that. No, because the emphasis on the Yom Tov. We don't start L'chun Ranane either. We start Mizmor LeDavid when it's Yom Tov and Shabbos. So that's it.
Rabbi, I
What?
think the only fast that you would do on a Friday is Asar B'Teves, not Tani B'Chorah.
I said the reason why Tanis B'Chorim is done because nobody fasts and nobody ends up fasting anyway. Yeah, so it's not a big deal. Yeah, the only other fast we fasted that could fall out on Friday, but no, that actually falls out on Friday is Asar B'Teves.
Someone has a firstborn son that's not bar mitzvah.
If somebody has a firstborn son that's not bar mitzvah, the minig is that the father fasts for him or listens to a seal. Now there are opinions in halacha. What happens if the father himself is a b'chor, and then he has a b'chor son? So then there are opinions in halacha that the mother should fast. I'm not joking. The mother should fast for the kid. The pearl the minig is the father takes care of both of them. He goes to the siyum and he.
Have a nice day going.
Huh?
What's the reason? Was it Sarah? What's the reason for the fast?
No, because the Eibishter killed the firstborn Egyptians, and there was a gzeira on the firstborn Jews also.
Why is
For the
that?
same, for the same.
Yeah, yeah.
By definition, ben bechor is the kotel rochem.
Paterachem.
So it's from the mother.
No, it's not. Yeah, but no. For instance, there's a bechor lenachala and a bechor lepaterachem. What happens if a man was married? He had a firstborn son. Yeah, and then he married another woman, and she was and had a firstborn. Yeah, so even though for nachala, for inheritance, there's only one firstborn, but for the fast, both have to fast. He's a bechor peter rachem from the mother. He's a bechor from the father for nachla.
That one is a peter rachem also.
No, let's say he wasn't. There was another kid.
Another what? So what?
Not he wasn't a bechor. Caesarean is also bechor lenachla. Okay, so okay now.
If there is a girl before, so it's not before an achara?
No, if there's a girl before, then he's not a bechor.
No, he's a regular.
He's not a bechor. He doesn't have to fast. If somebody, only a firstborn boy that was born a firstborn boy.
Yeah.
Otherwise, he's not a bechor. Okay, next. Okay, so you're allowed to eat chametz until then. Now, when it comes to burning the chametz, you have to make sure, it says in halacha, that the fire grabs the whole chametz, not just the outer things. And you have to make sure it burns completely. Some people have a minig, they take the shyness that they used on a Hoshana Rabbah, they burn it in the chametz. Some people say the lulav. They burn the lulav also. But us, it's not necessarily the minig like that. The Rebbe didn't do it, whatever. But the shyness also not. But, huh? To burn?
Yeah.
Not that I know of.
You let it throw it out?
Yeah. I mean, you throw it out, you throw it neatly. You put it into a bag and throw it out. There's no kedusha in a lulav and esrig afterwards. This year is a bigger problem. If it's shmita esrig, then from Eretz Yisrael, then you have to give it back because the kedusha is shviyas. Give it back to officially to the person you bought it from. You can't throw it out. It's a lot of complicated. Huh? Yeah, whatever.
We bought it from Mendel, I would have to return it to Mendel.
No, it's not Eretz Yisrael the esrig.
No, the Kfar Chabad ones.
The Kfar Chabad ones, you might have to return them, yeah.
Ready now?
No.
And you get your
This
food
coming
back.
Sukkot, not this past Sukkot. I'm talking about next, of course.
How about if you don't return it, you make a jam out of it? Can you eat it?
If it's Shviyah, I don't know. We're not learning Shviyah, the Shemitah now.
Rabbi, you have to wait for the spoon to also burn completely? Or
No, the main thing is that the chametz burns.
so the spoon doesn't burn?
And that's why we say, yes, don't put it into aluminum foil because it's not going to burn.
You have to
You should
wait.
put it into paper, the best thing. Not even plastic. Plastic melts. It's not...
Before you say Kol Chamir, it has to completely burn. You have to put it into
You say kochamer after it's burnt. Or mostly burnt.
approximately.
Only Shiloh do you do. It's chametz first. What do you...
Where did you go to do it this year, Rabbi?
I don't know if the yeshiva is having, the last year the fire department came, remember? They stopped in the middle.
Maybe we can do it here.
It's good in Orlando.
They did it and they stopped and the fire department waited there and they got them to let them burn one more thing, but they didn't let. I don't know if this year, maybe they'll let that. I don't know. That's not again. Anyway, next, it's late. Okay, one more thing. Our minig, it's not only Chabad, I saw other people have this minig also, that starting from Erev Pesach in the morning, through sandwich Keirach of the second night of Pesach, we don't eat any of the ingredients of the mortar or the charesis. Which means, because you have in the mortar, you have romaine lettuce or horseradish, we wouldn't eat horseradish. And because you put apples into the charesis, we wouldn't eat apples. The nuts that you put into the charesis, we wouldn't eat those types of nuts. Because the Rebbe writes, not only our minig I saw, other people have a minig that you don't eat anything of the ingredients of the mortar, but that doesn't mean that's only those two things. I've heard people say, no, you can't eat eggs because eggs are on the Seder plate. No, it's only the mortar and the charesis. Whatever the reason is.
Until what time can't you eat them?
What? No, the minig, it's a minig, it's not din. You don't eat it from Erev Pesach in the morning until the sandwich at the second Seder. That means that helps. Okay.